Hey friends, Powwow guy Rob Phoenix here, with the weekly Powwow update from Sunday, April 30th through Saturday, May 5th. So we're still in the building moon. It's time for starting projects, working out in the garden. Bill and I did the digging up of the garden, got the soil overturned, churned up, tilled, whatever. And today we started planting. So that's exciting. We're planting above ground crops, so we do that during the building moon. Today we did corn, tomatoes, two different kinds of sweet peppers, like yellow and purple. And then also for a change, we planted some jalapenos. We've never tried those before, but tomorrow we'll do more planting. We have peas and beans and cucumbers and lettuces and spinach and all sorts of stuff. So still a lot of work to do, but it's good stuff. We're not doing any root veggies this year, like carrots or anything. So everything can be done during the building moon because it's above ground. Weather-wise for South Central Pennsylvania coming up this week, it's going to be kind of like this past week was. It's going to be cooler. Might even be a little cooler than this past week. We're going to see temperatures more like in the 50s and the low 60s. The nights are going to be cool in the 40s, getting down to low 40s. And a little more rain. So that's good. One of the things I wanted to talk about was composting. So we've been composting in our garden, and we don't know a whole lot about it other than certain food scraps, eggshells, that sort of thing, right out in the garden. And I'm really glad we did that because as the soil has been churned up and we got in there today to start planting, I mean, the soil is like this dark, rich, almost black color. It's like a real wet clay-like substance. It's so good. The soil is so healthy. There are just so many nutrients in the soil. Now we've gotten stuff from a local farm to add to our soil over but it's just so nutrient dense now, from all the composting. And one of the very best things you can put in your soil is eggshells. Eggshells give, like, potassium, calcium, nitrogen, all these things that your soil wants. Eggshells take a little while to break down, but they do break down. You can actually put whole raw eggs in the ground. Or you can just put a raw egg, smash it up, and put it in the ground. I mean, the soil wants that. It wants that nutrition. So be sure to get that in there, churn it up. You can do that all winter long. Just toss your eggshells out there after you make breakfast or whatever. But yeah, very, very good for your soil. We don't like to use any chemicals or anything. We would prefer it all to be natural. Some years the yield is better than others, but I feel really good about it this year. So we're going to do some corn, which we tried corn once, but I think we put it in the wrong part of the garden and it just kind of got burned up from the sun. But that was one of them summers where it was just like 99 degrees and full sun every day, no rain. The weather wasn't good for the corn. But this year I feel good about it. So anyway, that's that. Astrologically coming up, we're in the lower parts of the body, the lower, like, kidneys, intestines, bowels, sex organs. That's where we are. As we move through Virgo, Libra, Scorpio. So that's the parts of our bodies that we want to pay attention to this coming week. Do things to be proactive in the care of that part of your body, whatever that means. So that's that. So May 1st comes up. May 1st begins a course I'm teaching on the basics of powwow, the history of powwow. That begins on Monday. I'm pretty excited about that, and the class is all ready to go. And also, what am I? In the beginning of June, I'll be doing a lecture for the Hermetic Institute, their annual conference that takes place in northeastern Pennsylvania. So I'll be speaking there now. Professor Ned Heindel will also be there. If you don't know who he is, one of the things he's done is wrote the book about the hexing cough. So him and I will be collaborating because we don't want to Since we're both presenting, we don't want to be talking about the same things. And it seems like we both are on the same track right now. So we're going to kind of collaborate, figure out which one of us is going to talk about which and such. So I'm really like, I feel honored to be collaborating with him. So that'll be a good time. So as we get closer to that, I'll share more information. If you're interested in attending, I just booked my hotel room for the weekend because there will be speakers Friday night, Saturday, and Sunday. I'm not sure what else to expect there. I don't know if there'll be vendors or what. I've never attended it. So I will let you know, and I may make a video while I'm there. So anyway, welcome to the weekly update, and let's see what's next. Hey guys, when I was a kid, all kids had pocket knives. They it was just a thing. All boys had a pocket knife with them. My brother and I had pocket knives from like when I was in scouts. And my grandfather would always be sitting around outside when he wasn't working, kind of cutting up pieces of wood, which he called whittling sticks and such. So we would do that. He said it kept our hands busy and it kept us out of trouble. So earlier, Josani and I were out in the front porch, just whittling some sticks, and the neighbor from across the road came over and she said, what is this wholesome old timey thing that you guys are doing? Pretty soon you'll be over here making moonshine. But it's good. It's just a simple, fun kind of thing to keep your mind busy. What does that have to do with powwow? Nothing. But it does demonstrate the kind of it's kind of a good example of the energy of what powwow is. It's simple. It's just a simple, kind of innocent, sort of old timey, thing that you do. You don't have to overthink it. It doesn't need to be complex. It doesn't need to be complicated. It doesn't need to have all kinds of bells and whistles. It just is what it is. It's just simplistic little healing charms for various purposes. You do what you need to do, and then you go about your day. There's some protective charms and talismans you could make, but you do that and then you're done. You do it and then go about your day. Sometimes people come to you and they have more serious issues, like they think they've been for hexed and such with. You listen to them, take it into consideration, then do what you need to do and go about your day. So this this week I just really want to I want you guys to focus on the simplicity of the tradition. You don't overthink it. It's just between you and God. You don't need to be doing all this craziness. You don't need to be invoking, paganistic things and doing all this weirdness. It's just a simple thing between you and God that you do to help people, and then you go about your day. It's just like whittling a piece of wood. You don't need nothing beautiful needs to come out of it. You're just working on a piece of wood, making it nice. Maybe finding a nice shape in there if you can, making the wood nice and smooth. That's kind of like how powwow is. You're just kind of helping somebody, making them feel better, and then you go about your day. So anyway, I just really think that's important to never lose sight of the fact that powwow is kind of an old-timey tradition in that regard. We don't make a lot of fuss. We're not wearing silly costumes. We're not like cosplaying as the Amish folk. It just is what it is. It's a sincere way of life. It just becomes your way of life. It's who you are. It's what you do. And you don't make a fuss out of it. So anyway, that's just a little message I wanted to convey this week. Let's see what's next. As I stated in like a previous video, I've been reading this Folk Tales of the Pennsylvania Dutch, stories of witchcraft, magic, and the supernatural. And it's a lot of like, well, just what it says, folk tales about like spirits and such with. And there's one in here that I really like. First of all, I was a little surprised to find this in here. It's kind of about two men that fell in love with each other. But anyway, The one feels that there is someone working hexray against him, which is negative witchcraft. And so the broker, they go to a broker, and the broker instructs him to fashion, mix up some dough and fashion a man out of this dough. It doesn't say, let me see. Yeah, okay, yeah. Freshly proofed dough, because now you are lucky to as was working this figure. Okay, so it sounds to me like he fashioned a bit of the dough into the shape of a man and then baked it. Then took it, okay, after finishing the dough man, the broker took him into the yard and laid it across an ant hill, the red ant kind that bite persistently when angered. Quick interjection, when I was 18, I was in Florida, and I was at a farmer's market, and I was standing in one spot, and I was standing on a red ant hill, fire ant, not red ant, they call them fire ants there. And they went all up through in my clothes and were like biting me, and like I was getting welts, and all the people around, I was screaming, and I actually had to strip down naked in public. I was only 18 years old, but I was being attacked by these fire ants. And like the people were very sympathetic. Nobody was like weird about it. They were like just brushing them off of me and trying to help me, because they lived there all their lives. They knew. So anyway, just reminded me of that. So anyway, they took, finishing the dough man, the broker took him into the yard and laid it across the anthill. As the ants swarmed over the bread man and began to bite and sting the dough, the preacher, who was just then at choir practice, began to scream and roll on the carpet. In the next village, his rough-cut son did the same, and both men were observed running outside and rolling on the ground to free themselves of this searing attack, their skin covered with red welts where the ants had bitten into the dough. So that's actually kind of a really good, old-timey sort of powwow charm for figuring out who it is that is hexing you. So actually, it does not sound like they baked it in that. It sounds like he fashioned it out of dough. They keep calling it the dough man, and then put that figure of dough right on top of the anthill. And then as the ants swarmed over it or biting it, the person who was guilty of being the hex was suffering. Not that, things are good. You don't want people to suffer, life is good and such. But if somebody is hexing you, I just thought that was really cool that it's like part of these stories. I definitely recommend this book. It's limited distribution, so you have to go right to like Kutztown University, I guess, to order it. But there's always like little tidbits of wisdom in these old folk tales, just like there's tidbits of wisdom in the things our grandparents said to us, when we were kids. It just is what it is. So, I mean, that's really like the spirit of powwow. It's really just simplistic. There's some wisdom in there. There's a lot of old-timey tales and stories and such. So it's really good. So maybe this was a short weekly update this week, but that's what I had to say. I have a lot coming up that I had to prepare for. So I will do my best to keep up with these weekly updates and other, videos that I come up with. And if you're interested in joining the class, it starts Monday. So you have a limited time to sign up for it. Go to my website, pagermanpowwow.com, and you'll see it. I'll put a link below. I can't talk about it. I'll just put a link below if you're interested in signing up for the class. But that's it. So thanks for joining me this week, and God bless you guys. Love you, and let's talk soon.